Okay, yeah, so I cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair for, I don't know, 20 years. I get out the clippers, I put on the inch and a quarter thing, and I cut my hair. Sometimes I get fancy and do other parts of it shorter, but sometimes I run into a little trouble and wind up having to take her right down tight because there was an accident of one sort or another. I've always wanted one of these Flowbee things, and I don't know if you know what it is, but basically it's a tube and a vacuum, and it sucks your hair up and it cuts it off, and the hair goes into a vacuum. And I always wanted one of these. Man, that would make it easy. This cleanup and stuff is terrible. Trying to get your hair to stand up at an inch and a quarter so you can get it to cut off, it's not easy to do by yourself. Anyway, so finally decided I'm going to look and see one of these things and see if I can buy one. they, well, yeah, they still make them right around $200. Now, in the grander scheme of things, it's not that much. It's what, 4 or 5 haircuts? So really, okay, all right, maybe. So I got to looking at it, and man, I just wasn't impressed, I guess I'm going to say. Not for what I was doing. Now maybe this thing looked like it was designed to cut a little longer hair than what I'm working with, but maybe even short. I don't know. But I wasn't going to spend $200 to find out when I got my 3D printer. So I guess what I'm trying to get down to is I've made my own version of the Flowbee. I don't have a name for it yet. I got her fitting a set of Wahl clippers. Went with a pretty standard clipper in case something happens to mine. I can buy another one pretty easily and it'll fit on it. Okay, so I'm going to take you over here and show you my attempts and what it took me to get to an actual working version. It actually seems to work pretty good. Okay, right here's how we measured everything up for the old clippers. Height gauge, get a few measurements here and there. Has some clamps, angle plate, 1, 2, 3 block, 1-inch gauge block for figuring angles, a little trigonometry there, a couple of hard angles. I even got a half a degree one there, which actually came into play. The one angle I think was 15 degrees. Anyway, 7.5 on each side. So that's how we got things measured up as far as them clippers. All right.
Okay, this is the CAD portion of the program. Decided better step up my game a little bit here. I was watching Sailing into Freedom there, and Bart's doing a little CAD work there for Plucky, and man, his stuff looked nice. Typically, I always just put the camera on the old screen and let her record, and away he went. I moved up onto the TV here though, and it just don't look good. You couldn't see very good. You couldn't even see very good the old way when I was doing it off the computer monitor. But we're gonna give this old capture a try here and see what happens. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. We're gonna find out. So here we go. This is all the pieces it takes to make the little knockoff Flowbee that I'm building here. What do we gotta do? We're gonna start out by subtracting a few things. We're gonna go from that. We want to take this out. And we want to take this. And we want to remove that. That. And that. Okay. Let's slide it over here, though. There we go. Now. Oh, got a little excited there. First thing we gotta do is join, union, whatever you want to call it. Them. That. And that one. Now we can get into that subtraction. That one. Okay, these here are going to be all put together. Single guard. Alright, what do we got here? I think it's time to turn on some more stuff. Get moved around so I can see what's going on. Get a little bigger here for a minute. Whoops. I said, do everything with a touchpad. Been running touchpad since touchpads come out. Obviously, you can't play no games with it, but okay. Well, it depends on the game you're playing, though. We're gonna make all them the same. All right. Dial her back a little. subtract from that fresh new green part. And these here just trim off the ends. Made them angles, had a lot of overhang, just cut it right off. Gone, no problem. Okay, now let's combine, this just makes things easier here in a minute, them and these red ones. Okay, now what we need to do is subtract this outer green one. You take off this, this, I think that's it. Yeah, that looks right. Now what we need to do is combine this one, and that one. And I think we're down to just a subtraction or two now. We're going to take away from that green, pull that red out of there, and again we're going to take away from the green. Got a couple oranges or yellows there to take out, and I think that's it. So let's pull her up here. Yeah, that could be it. Let's make her a little smaller. So we do that roll around thing that all them engineers love to do. Oh, got a little excited again. Let's switch her over to realistic. There we go. Now we'll roll that thing around. Oh yeah, see? And that looks like that's it. Okay. Now we can look at it from the top. Switch her back over into wireframe. And there we go. We got her done. She's ready for the printer.
And there's the final one. Printed her right straight up and down. So here's the old Wahl clippers that I made everything fit. A pretty standard model. That switch gave me a lot of trouble. So when I first measured these things up, you know, I wanted them to drop down in this piece. Here's where I had to notch out for my switch. But so yeah, so I got her all measured up. I get the cord through it, and I've got a way to lock it in. I haven't built it yet. Okay, so there we go, and it does fit in there pretty solid. And this model has like a little deal here to hang her from a hook or something. There it is. And I'll be using that to lock it into this if I decide I need to. So that was the very first one I printed, and she had some problems, of course. Always does. This is number 2. We're still fighting that switch right there. The curve, we had this curve coming around originally. This curve came right on around quite a bit farther. Matter of fact, I think if you took this right straight off, that curve came down and met, because I wasn't sure I wanted that to end. So this one got sawed off. Get us a rough, something we could try, you know what I'm saying? So everything fit in there, and that was all good. So now we got to get the vacuum hook to it. And there's the tube. I bought just this isn't the size of a vacuum hose. I actually bought something smaller and light. I didn't want to be lugging around that. The whole thing's going to be heavy enough. I didn't want that heavy-duty vacuum hose hooked to that. So I probably got 6 feet of some really flimsy, easy hose that hooks to that. Finally got the switch, you know, figured out pretty good. Made this too thick. Switched her up. Couldn't get your thumb in there or whatever to flip it down. This one got printed at that height. So then once we put the vacuum to this one, we decided that it wasn't sucking the air up in there. It was closed up too much. Here, let me show you. So if you take your clippers, see, you can't even get it in there. And even if you do, whoops, I guess if I put it in the right way, it would really help. Okay, there we go. See, it kind of didn't give the hair enough chance to get sucked up in the thing before it was trying to cut it off. This distance from the clippers to the end of my little flow bee, if you will, too small. Not enough time to get that hair up in there. and it's a long cord. So we went to a more straight version. It actually runs right out to the end of the, almost to the end, if I'm not mistaken. We printed this one off and got the switch situation finally. Get in there and get your finger and shut her off. Cleaned up a few other little things. So then the final one, we had to cut the angle back, as you can see. It had a little too much angle up here. That came back just past a 45. Can't remember right now. So when all is said and done, run this cord through here for the umpteenth time. Voila! And we did put her to the test, and it cut the back hair pretty good. Could go down another size and try her again. But as you could see earlier, I've got her shaved down pretty tight right now. I'm burning the top of my head. I don't like that in the summer. I like enough hair that the sun ain't burning me up. Anyway, there's the half-inch one. That's as low as you can go. I never go below that anyway on my own head, where I would be using this. So we're gonna try that. And yeah, as soon as the hair gets grown back out, maybe I'll take it back down a little bit just to play with it some more. We're gonna see what happens with that. Alright.